Mira Business FM, the sound of success.
This is Mira Business FM. It's the morning drive with me, Tim Elliott. Good morning to you. Don't forget you can contact us, find us at the website mirabusiness.fm, on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on where these places are. You know how to do that. Info@mira.fm is the email address, and then it's whatsapp.mira.fm to bring up the dialogue box if you want to get in contact with us in the studio. Simple as that, really. Next up on the show, it's the business of travel, and with schools across the Emirates beginning their winter holiday on Monday, that's the 8th of December, it's going to be the longest winter break in recent years, running until the 4th of January next year. Now, for lots of families, that could mean nearly a month to travel. It's a rare window that blends cooler weather, perhaps holidays, the urge to escape the routine. Now, as a result, travel agencies and luxury travel providers have been reporting a boom in bookings. No surprises there. So let's explore the rise in demand, not just for typical getaways, but for meaningful, transformative experiences. I'm using the language of the day. Abhishek Dadlani is from Lushescapes. They are the, luxury travel people. Morning, Abhishek.
Very good morning, Tim. Glad to be here, and thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Am I describing you appropriately as like the luxury travel people? I don't want to use taglines that I shouldn't be using, but that's kind of what you do, isn't it, really?
Precisely, yes. We are in the realm of curating experiences that go over and beyond the vanilla stuff that people do.
Okay.
And we've been dabbling in the space for almost 2 decades now.
So give me an example of the kind of experience I might book with you. What would be a really popular experience for somebody living here who wants to experience something? What was the phrase? Transformative.
Transformative.
Yeah.
So, at Lushescapes, what we imbibe to do is first figure out not where you want to travel, but what you want to achieve and what you actually want to aspire yourself with after you get done with the holiday.
Okay.
And that's where, transformation actually happens.
Okay.
So for us, all the experiences that we curate or organize for the discerning few are stem from special interests that they would be honing, right? So there would be a family who would be interested in wildlife versus another who would want to get into cultural immersion.
Right. Okay.
And, there would be another group of friends or families who just want to seek adventure. And once we try to discover their inner self and once we try to discover what they want to achieve out of their vacation is when we put pen to paper and then curate stuff.
So this is a lot more than going into a travel agency and saying, I want that one over there. I want to go to so-and-so for the weekend. This is like, I don't know, a consultancy kind of thing, arrangement.
And you hit the nail on the head with that, Tim. When I started travel, I wanted to actually move away from commoditizing travel to a more consultative approach.
Okay.
And that's precisely what we've been doing. It's more of a discovery. It's more about getting to know who the avid guest is or who the avid traveler is, and then try to, give him a bouquet of experiences across destinations that he would inspire himself with.
Okay, so I could come to you and say to you, Abhishek, I'm a huge. Let's look at something that's going on this weekend. The Formula One in Abu Dhabi, for example. At any point of the year, if the season's on, I could come to you and say, look, I love Formula One. I want something themed around this. The Monte Carlo Grand Prix is coming up. You could then fashion something around that and get me, on a yacht in Monte Carlo.
Yeah, so
that sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we actually do. And it's not just about getting the paddock club passes or getting you on a yacht or on the biggest yacht, probably docked at the marina in Monte Carlo. What we do is go one step ahead and, take you behind the scenes on how the entire logistics and the functioning of F1 happens.
Okay.
Pre-race and after race. So we'll do a walk on the circuit with a specialist. We will get you, talking to the people who are actually running the show. We're going to do a meet and greet with the top of the car owners over there. And also get you insights on the engineering aspect
Okay.
of what happens behind the wheel.
Okay. So almost sitting on Max Verstappen's lap in his car.
You can say that.
I'm not sure that's an attractive proposition. But anyway, that's by the by. I mean, I'm not a massive Formula One fan, but I get where you're going. My first thought with that is that's not going to be cheap. So this is not, this is not an average experience, is it? I mean, I suppose there is a, you need to get the credit card out.
So when we actually come on the table to understand the preferences of the client and understand the preferences of the traveler,
Right.
we usually don't start by putting a dollar value there, Tim.
Okay.
We would first like to, deep dive into what is the level of experience that he's seeking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always a top dollar value, and that is not the driving point for us. Yes, most of the experiences that we curate are top of the line experiences and they are behind the scene experiences or activities for which you need to shell top dollars. But
Whenever you want anything specific, generally there is a cost to it. But I'd phrase that question quite badly, to be honest with you, because I didn't want it to come across that way. So it could be somebody saying to you, I just want a weekend. I'd like this particular hotel. It may not be the most expensive hotel. It may just be a place that's hard to get a booking at a certain time of year, and you may be able to fashion a way to do that. I guess. So it's about kind of, I don't know, fulfilling, people's longings in some way.
absolutely. So there you're hitting the nail on the head because we are accentuating the fact that these travelers are busy in their lives.
Yeah.
They do not have the time. And, to some extent, they want to discover over and beyond of what they have already done and seen. So the question that lingers in their mind, Tim, is going to be what next?
Okay.
Or what now?
Okay.
And perhaps they are void of ideas, and that's when they come to us. And then we show them or we try to curate stuff which is unheard of. So you could term it as a bucket list, you could term it as something which is not Googleable. And then, we come on board and we try to, stitch it up.
If you can dream it, you can conceive it, you can achieve it, I suppose. It's something like that, isn't it? So let's look at now. This is unusual, this kind of long winter break. This is a new thing, the duration of it, of course. It's traditionally a really busy time of year, festive period, New Year, people going to see family, etc. But we've got a month. So how has this kind of extended holiday window changed demand? Has it changed demand that you're seeing with families?
So it's absolutely changed demand, Tim, with respect not to the number of travelers that are traveling, because, in the ultra HNI space, in the luxury travel space, there are always going to be people traveling,
Right.
with families, and they are always looking for opportunities to travel.
Sure.
What has happened this year round is because of the longish winter break, which is almost like half of the summer break, there has been a drastic shift in the trends of how they are traveling.
Okay.
So up until last year, winter holidays were meant to be short haul destination getaways, for maximum a week or so. But now they've got a window of a month. So there has been a transcendent shift in the choice of destinations that people are looking at. And also from a planning perspective, usually winter holidays were a last minute thing that, you wake up in the second week of December. Okay, Abhishek, kids are off from tomorrow. What can you do for us?
Get me a ski chalet.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
This year, what we have seen is people have been proactive enough and they have planned a winter vacation in sync or similar to what they would have done in the summer months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So the planning has started a little early. By virtue of that, they've been able to get better availability and better rates. And all in all, December as a month, for me, don't seem to be as busy as it has been retrospectively.
Okay.
Because most of the
Okay.
bookings have already happened, and people are actually ready. They're packed up to go next week.
That's interesting. But I guess there's still, the last minute stuff is still available, of course. So, that may this may come back to bite you in a week or so, Abhishek. You never know. But
We're always happy to get more, right? Never say no to business.
exactly right. So you've seen this kind of uptick in people booking earlier, and clearly there's a little bit more planning, a little bit more forethought here. What kinds of things that when you consult with people, what's resonating with clients? What are clients trying to do? Where do they want to go?
So, winter is synonymous with mostly ski destinations. They want to get out, and they want to hone the adventure hat. So we do a lot of chalets, private chalets, basically across Europe. This year, what we have seen is a great uptake in ski destinations over and beyond Europe. People are actually going further off,
Okay.
so we booked stuff in Aspen, in Colorado. We have even booked stuff in Japan, in Hokkaido, in Sapporo, for skiing.
A ski holiday.
Yeah, a ski holiday.
Fantastic.
But that's just one part or one special interest, as I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Out of the gamut of stuff that we do.
Okay.
And over and beyond ski, then there are different cultural immersion and wildlife and photography trips that we have arranged for this particular time of the year.
Do you mean like photography? I don't know, safari holidays, that kind of thing, or?
Yeah, so we do photography for safari holidays, where we get special photographers and specialists who are leading the trip.
Okay.
And you'll get all your DS-160s out, and you'll get all your gadgets, and you'll get all the paraphernalia, and then this guy who's going to be the specialist is going to lead that trip on the photography front. And
Right.
not just limited to Africa. We have seen an uptake this year around people going to South America all the way. So we'll do, let's say, we'll charter a cruise on the Peruvian side of the Amazon,
Okay.
and we will rent that entire charter. And this is for a group of 3 generational family members.
Uh-huh.
And there are like 15 of them. And then we are chartering the entire boat. And that trip is also led by a photographer.
It's a massive variety of requests that you get. How it must be hard to. People are coming to you and saying, "Look, I want to do this," and you're like, "Well, how on earth am I going to do that? Well, where even is this place? Is that happening to you as well? Because I don't know where I would start with that."
So the fundamental ethos of us running this show is that we are not going to sell anything or pitch anything
Right.
until we've seen it.
Okay.
So we do 70 odd destinations globally.
Right.
I have traveled to 75 destinations till date. And we are not going to pitch any experience until and unless we have had a in-depth, understanding of what we are talking about.
See, this is the thing. That's kind of the point I was trying to get to a little bit. Not the most effective way. Local knowledge is so important if you're in the game that you're in the profession that you're in, to understand what people can expect when they're there. And it's kind of incumbent on you, isn't it, to have that knowledge. Nice position to be in if you get to go and have these experiences as well before you go, in addition. But that's such an important part if you want to really offer what you call a transformative experience.
Right. And that has not been the fundamental groundbreaking value proposition from us from today. It has been from 2 decades back when I actually started this gig.
Okay.
I'm actually literally on a flight once every 7 days. Literally. I just got back from China and Bali 3 days back.
Okay. What were you doing in China? What was
So we were doing a transformative experience for a group of students who are going to China next year in February.
Okay.
And we are making them visit Xi'an, which is in the central part of China. It was the old capital of the entire of China, probably I would say 100 years back. And then we are doing immersive experiences there in Xi'an. Along with that, we are doing experiences in Beijing and Shanghai, but not your typical, touristy stuff.
Okay.
So this is going to be more educational driven, very immersive in nature, and from Zen ceremonies at a private, family-led tea estate, in Beijing, which is unheard of because tea ceremonies are usually synonymous with what you would do in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So from tea ceremonies to having a historian on board to take you to the Great Wall of China and making you understand what is the entire paraphernalia about this great structure and how different stages and different parts of the wall, symbolize historical imperance from different eras.
And with all of the things that you do, you travel and go through the experience yourself.
Yeah. So what we did is this.
Nice.
So last week I was in China and in Bali to hone this entire experiential paradigm shift that we are wanting to curate. And it's not that we've not done China before. It's not that we've not sold, or packaged a trip to Bali before. But when we are curating experiences which are just off the cuff and new, we, as mavens of luxury travel, have to have a very deeper understanding of what the ground reality is.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the impeding difference, Tim.
Mavens of luxury travel. I was going to ask you about Lushescapes. You don't just market luxury. I've used this word a few times, transformative. What is it? Transformative journeys of the soul.
Right.
I kind of like that. It's a different way of looking at it. But, what you're basically saying is something that you'll always remember. It's an experience that, leaves a lasting impression, I guess. And that's a very different thing from a conventional luxury holiday. So these trips that you do to experience these things, everything ultimately is about making sure that these lasting impressions hit people and resonate with people.
Right. We are creating memories for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And those memories are going to be synonymous to, the people who are traveling with us in different ways, in different forms, and different structure.
Okay.
Because for one, the memory would be just to go at a beach and find solace and find peace with his family, right? Yeah. And for another group of individuals or family members, transformation could come through, or building memories could come through indulging in, let's say, something very different. Let's say gastronomy. Gastronomy is really big now, right?
I can imagine. I can imagine that.
So each to his own,
Yeah.
And that is when the consultative nature of the travel curation comes forth.
I mean,
right?
The trick is, isn't it, that you have to let people tell you what they want. This isn't. It's not selling somebody a package. You've got to let people. It will unfold over time. It might be that people think, I really fancy a beach holiday. But if you talk to them long enough and consult with them long enough, it may turn out that actually what they really want is to sit on the top of a mountain for 2 weeks, or whatever that experience might be for them. But you've got to get to the heart of that. So this is a lot more than, a bespoke travel agency.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree to that. And that's how, we are wanting to be different, but in a very unique way. And there's a very fine line, Tim, over there. Yes, the core impetus and the core background in which we are working is travel related. But again, how to make this more meaningful and how to derive the element of service attached with that meaningful travel is what we are positioning ourselves with and what we are wanting to do or envisage to do.
Okay. So
because service is also very key. There is one point that we did not touch over here is, yes, you can conceptualize, you can ideate, you can brainstorm, and you can curate, but until and unless it is not backed with a foolproof service method or the backing up of a concierge, everything is only talk, right? So you need to fulfill all of this with a very strong execution format.
And you're working with people who, I guess, are often quite demanding by nature. You're working with some clients who are high net worth. They expect certain things, and they want things a certain way. Let's put it that way. Okay. Right. So you need to perform, basically. Let me just ask you a little bit about. We'll go back to where we are now with this kind of long winter break. Are there any top destinations or maybe experiences that clients are asking for? I mean, how popular is the trip to Lapland, the classic kind of festive trip to Lapland, or is it more exotic stuff? Is it family getaways? Hiring a house in Aspen, for example. What kinds of things are people?
So Tim, the classics are always going to stay. Okay.
Right.
I just had a group of 3 families traveling separately. Each with 11 to 12 members, just returned from Lapland last week.
Okay.
And then I have one of the biggest families in town traveling with us to Lapland next week. And how we do Lapland differently is, yes, there are mainstream hotels, there are mainstream igloo huts, but we actually privatize the entire experience by making them stay in 1,000 to 2,000 hectare of pristine wilderness forests, and that becomes their playground.
They do have a hut to live in.
Yeah, they don't have a hut to live in. They have a modern 5,000 square meter villa to live in.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we do stuff differently, and all the activities, all the experiences, whether it is chasing the lights, whether it is your huskies, whether it is your snowmobile safaris, is run on private land, so that there is exclusivity that can be harnessed there.
Gotcha.
Also, the entire science of Northern Lights and Aurora is very different from what you see and what you hear on social media. So the science is actually that you chase the lights and not wander or wait for the lights dancing over your heads at a specific place and time.
Okay.
And so with that, we go deep dive, and there are scientific methods to assess what is the density of a solar storm on that particular night for you to be able to have a great probability to be able to see the lights within a 300 to 400 kilometer radius above the Arctic.
Okay.
So that's how deep and that's how in-depth we go when we are actually, curating stuff in Lapland.
So you need to have a little sense of adventure as well, as do the travelers that, your customers, your clients.
Absolutely.
All right, then.
So, but coming back, I'm just going to, spend a minute over here. Coming back to your main question. So classics are always going to be there. We're doing ski holidays in Europe. We're doing ski holidays elsewhere. In the US this time. Japan has sprung up not just for cherry blossoms and for koyo. The koyo season just ended actually, or it's still on. In fact, the last leg of the koyo. Koyo is the autumn leaves.
Yeah.
Like how you have the cherry blossoms in March, you have koyo in the last week of November. So over and beyond that, people are going to Hokkaido to ski. We're doing a lot of trips. I talked about China. I talked about Bali. People are spending 2 weeks in Bali this particular winter, just to see different sides of Bali. They're probably going to stay a week long in Ubud, check out the rice paddies, and then do the beach thing.
Monkey forest.
Komodo is becoming a big destination. The Komodo Island near Bali, and then westwards, Africa is always hitting the spot. Always. So we do Namibia, we do Botswana, the Okavango, the Kalahari, the Skeleton Coast. In South Africa, within the garden route, we book private lodge estates in a place near to Hermanus, which is on the garden route itself,
Okay.
overlooking the Indian Ocean. So yeah,
That's
this is
fascinating.
just to give you
No, I know.
a taste.
I'm kind of there. I feel like I'm on the Skeleton Coast. Look, lots of families are going to travel together this season, of course. How do you balance, the wants of, the mums and dads, the bespoke kind of luxury aspects, the higher end aspects, with making sure that an itinerary is family friendly? Because, the kids are going to want to do different stuff. The parents often want to do it, but really, it's hard to get those two to meet on occasion.
It's always a good mix because when we are brainstorming and at the ideation stage, we obviously come to know the demographics and we come to know of the interests for each of the individuals that are traveling. And a lot of times, what happens, these travels are multi-generational travels. It is not just going to be the kids and the parents. When you've got a month-long window, Tim,
Yeah,
usually the grandparents also will pitch in, the cousins and the aunts and the uncles.
sure.
And this is a trend that we've been seeing over the last 2-3 years, not just with our Westerner clients, but also with the local offsprings over here.
Okay.
And once you've got such a wide demographics traveling together, you need to then account for the interests of each and every soul. So while the younger kids and the teens are going to be doing their own stuff and we're going to occupy them with stuff that they're going to be like, it could be surfing lessons, for instance, at a beach holiday, or it could be just learning how to scuba, in Maldives. While the adults would want to, relax and we would want to, take in the charm of the place, we're probably going to get some wellness activities for them. So during the day, there is going to be a good mix, and then in the night, the whole family kind of comes together, and then we partake in gastronomy experiences. This doesn't happen on a daily basis. It would probably happen 2-3 times during the holiday, but then there are going to be activities that will be organized, which is going to suit the palate of the family as a whole.
It's a different kind of holiday, isn't it? And I guess this kind of month-long potential season, I mean, you put it well earlier on. This is, kind of half a summer holiday in the winter. So it changes the nature, I think, of the travel. I can understand that. It's the holiday season. This is a really busy time of year. Flights are not cheap. I guess it's a longer holiday than perhaps we've ever seen. What about challenges that you face with, with flights, with availability, with visas, for lots of global destinations? Lapland is, it's hard to get in this time of year, obviously.
Right.
What kinds of things have you had to deal with?
So when you talk about flights, flying commercial is always going to be a bit of a struggle to get the best routing.
Yeah.
If you plan late in the day, but a lot of our clients also do fly private. So that is taken care of, whether it is transcontinental or whether it is regional specific private flights. When it comes to hotels and in the most coveted locations, booking late is not going to get you the best suite in the best hotel. So when we are actually onboarding somebody, we are not only looking at the best hotel at a destination, we are looking at the best room in that best hotel. And that's how we're going to pitch, and that's how we will curate that entire value proposition, which is going to be different from them traveling with a vanilla, travel operator, if I were to say. However, because of the contracting that we have and because of the supplier network that we have, if we are not very confident that we're going to be able to get them the best product at the perceived destination that they want to go, we would be upfront and frank enough to let them change that destination.
Okay.
Based on availability.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a last minute is always a touch and a go, but we try to figure out things.
There's a couple of questions come in for you, actually. I'm pleased to say, because it's a really interesting topic, this, and I think, people relate to holidays and travel, far more than some of the topics that we cover, I'll be honest with you. This is Tammy texts in. I love this topic. She says, planning for a last-minute travel, last-minute holiday. For families worried about holiday traffic, airport chaos, what premium or VIP airport services do you arrange to make travel seamless for those with young children? It's the age-old question of the pushchair mentality.
Yeah, and it's a great question. I understand that sometimes traveling with young kids can become inundated, and with so much of rush happening, especially during this part of the year, you need services and you need hospitality that you can look up to, so that you are literally handheld at every point of your journey. So what we do is we just do not arrange VIP assistance at all major airports across 110 or 110 countries across the world. We also do chauffeur services exactly in tandem with how Emirates has spoiled us over here. Right. So even if you're not flying Emirates, our gamut of services will include chauffeur-driven chauffeur-driven services to the airport, and then VIP assistance right, as you arrive, up until the immigration, and then to the gate of the plane. And this is not just sacrosanct with you traveling in Dubai, but it is sacrosanct with 110 airports across the world.
Okay, Tammy, there you go. Michelle, what's your last-minute escape plan for families? We're back to the last-minute booking thing here that we talked about earlier. A nearby luxury hidden gem that other UAE parents typically overlook during the winter rush. Very specific. There you go. What do you recommend?
Nearby hidden gems, let's talk about the region. Let's talk about, a flying time of within 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Saudi is picked up in a great fashion. So the Red Sea resorts, typically Shibara is up there. It's a hidden gem, which is not discovered as much as I would like it to be.
What's at Shibara then? What's available?
Yeah, so there are still some inventory available at Shibara. So Shibara is synonym with blue turquoise waters, overwater villas, exactly a replica of what you would see in Maldives, but a different topography altogether. And, the Saudis have done a great job with it.
Wow.
So it's a resort kind of a setup. You land into the Red Sea airport. It's a 2.5-hour flight from Dubai. Dubai flies directly into that airport 2 or 3 times a week. And you do a nice quick getaway, and it's still hidden. Another great spot, which has been talked a lot in the last couple of years, is Alula.
Sure.
I know a lot of people have already visited, but I think there's so much more to do in Alula than just, staying at a hotel. Anantara is a great option over there. So that region, very nice. Salalah is one of my favorites. Again, 1.5-hour hop.
Yeah, I'm a fan, I have to say.
Yeah. So, and especially in this time of the year, when a lot of people only think of Salalah during the Kharif season in July and August, but this is also a great time to go there. And then again, so these are beach destinations. If you want something more culturally invigorating, then there is Jordan. Again, very underrated, I feel. And there are so many hidden gems within Jordan, not just in Amman, but all the way down to the Dead Sea, Petra. We do exclusive Bedouin camps. We'll set up tents privately for you guys in the middle of nowhere, near to Petra, in the Wadi Ram, and then that experience is just next to none. Also, another great desert getaway would be, I'm sorry, I'm taking a little longer.
I'm enjoying the passion. I'm enjoying the enthusiasm.
Would be the deserts near Muscat in Oman.
Okay.
Very virgin, unheard and unseen. the dunes over there and the topography over there is nothing like what you would see elsewhere.
I have to ask you, and those are all great examples, and not what I expected, I have to say as well, which is refreshing. In the UAE, what's the hidden gem here in the UAE, do you think? Could you point to somewhere that you think that should be bigger than it is?
I think the deserts of Alain and Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I think they have not gotten their due importance.
Right.
And they are still virgin. And if you are a desert fan, then, there are so many great spots.
Those are good answers. I like it. Michelle, there you go. I think there's another, just let me check. Yeah, there is another message in here for you. We're running over time, but don't worry about it. It's fine. We're a family of 5. Kids are 16, 12, and 9. Okay, well, there's a range. Can you give a ballpark figure of how much should we prepare for a 1-week luxury holiday on the beach with nature side trips? It's our first family trip, so we want to experience the best. That could be a client for you, who knows? But
Who
I
knows?
mean, what would you say? No name
So
on
I
that one.
usually don't put numbers until and unless we do our discovery. But if you are talking about destinations which are short haul destinations, 4-5 hours
Right.
flying time from Dubai, let's talk about the Seychelles, as an example.
Okay.
It's very pristine. Again, it is not heavily commercialized. So in season like this, if you were to go to a private island in Seychelles, and there are some great private islands such as Deroche, which is now owned and managed by the Four Seasons. Then there is a Six Senses property called the Six Senses Zil Payson over there. These are just top of the crop luxury private island getaways
Okay.
in a tropical setting with some of the best beaches in the world. And a holiday over there or per night cost over there would start from $2,000 to $3,000 in this time of the year, and then
Okay.
from there,
All right.
and it also depends, and the total cost will depend on the experiences that you're going to do.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, that gives you a ballpark figure. That's not what I thought it would be, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, I surprisingly, I'm pleasantly surprised by that. One thing about this holiday season coming is this is kind of a new thing. How do you see? How do you think people are going to view December from a quiet midterm to a full holiday season? Is there a change in mindset? Do you think the way people view this holiday? Do you think going forwards this is going to be it's going to open up things, I guess, for travel in lots of different ways. There's
Right.
a real bonus in that. But do you think people are going to view this differently, going to use this differently? Is it more like a shorter summer holiday? kind of
Absolutely, yes.
attitude?
I don't know whether the trend is going to continue, Tim.
Sure.
Whether the same number of days is what we're going to get next year around.
Well, the assumption is we will. So, I mean,
Yeah, so
let's
if
base it
that
on
is the case, then people are again going to start planning a little ahead and look at this as a half summer holiday. And I think then the trend is going to just replicate of what we have seen this year around, with people planning ahead, being a bit proactive, and looking at long haul versus short haul.
Yeah. Okay. I guess lots of the services that you offer, lots of the vacation time, the getaways that you offer are niche in some way. So let's look at some of the more niche offerings. And I want to look at sustainability and a kind of more responsible approach to travel. I guess there are demands for that with some people when it comes to, eco lodges being creating less impact, thinking more sustainably. Does winter holiday demand complicate or does it support that vision? If you've got more bookings, more travel, more carbon footprint, how do you see that?
It's a mix, and it's the entire proposition about being sustainable while doing luxury travel is always up there.
Okay.
Not just in the minds of the owners of the hotels or the airlines or the service providers, but more so now in the minds of the discerning travelers. And they themselves are wanting to leave a carbon neutral footprint when they are traveling. And this is a trend and this is a mindset, Tim, that I've seen not just in this holiday or during this time of the year, but throughout the year. So they are very conscious about the carbon footprint that they are leaving behind, and they want to be neutral in every aspect or as much as they can. So the selection of the properties, uh, obviously, have a very, very big element of how the hotel or the resort or the destination is actually looking to offset the carbon that is generated with the influx of more and more people traveling, especially in peak times of the year like now. So Africa is doing a great job.
Okay.
Uh, not just your classics like Kenya and Tanzania. There are lodges and there are resorts that have sprung up in places like Mozambique, in Zanzibar, in Namibia, which are actually thriving only on sustainability.
It's interesting this because I got to be I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's not something I really think about when I'm traveling.
Okay.
I don't, and I should, and I realize that I should, and I'm very often a little bit cynical about whether people actually care. But it seems to me that there is demand. People are asking to be more sustainable. It seems like that's a change to me.
I think people have become more aware.
Mm.
If you were to ask me this question 3 years back or just after COVID sprung up,
Yeah.
there was not so much of awareness and there was not so much of insight that people or travelers at any level of travel
Yeah.
uh, had put in when they were looking at travel.
Mm.
But now at least we see that there is an element of awareness, and this is one part that they always dabble with.
Okay.
Now, whether it is the foremost non-starter for them if when they're choosing a lodge or a resort, I don't think they have reached there yet, but at least consciously they are trying to assess how sustainability is going to shape the way they travel.
It's a good thing to hear, I think. A couple more questions for you. We've run so far over time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I know I've spoken a lot.
No, I've been listening and learning. Beyond the winter kind of break rush, what's going to be happening over the next, this weekend, really. Enjoy the airport this weekend, of course. What are your thoughts on travel trends for next year? Are we going to see high demand? Are travelers shifting towards maybe more meaningful, offbeat destinations? Is the mainstream stuff still as mainstream and popular as it always was? Generally, your thoughts on what we might see.
2006 is going to be an absolute paradigm shift, in my opinion.
Next year is
Next year.
Really,
Next year is going to be a shift. We've already seen trickles of that seeping in this year.
What makes you say that?
If I were to look at the historical trend in the last 5 years, I would say that 75 to 80% of our travel is only led by experiences now. It is not pegged on a destination or a product. It is experiential led.
So there's a real shift from the old idea of, okay, it's our 2-week holiday, we go to wherever we go to,
Right.
to we've got a couple of weeks, we're going to go and do something that we will remember. At all levels of the kind of chain, whether it's high net worth or just average Joes like me going away. That's us now.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So experience is going to take over.
Mm.
It's going to take shape. And you would see this in all realms of travel and all verticals of travel. People want to deep dive into something that is really going to help them make those everlasting memories. And just one last point.
Yeah.
The advent of bucket list is not going to be that I will fly private, even for the ultra HNIs. The advent of bucket list is not going to be that I'm going to be staying at a $10,000 suite in a hotel. The advent of luxury is going to be how deep rooted is my experiential journey when I travel.
Okay. And the experiential journey is, I don't know, quantified by how much you're willing to spend on it in many ways, I suppose. How deep you go is perhaps how deep your pockets are?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I think we've dabbled with this,
We have. No, I'm saying.
But not necessarily. Yes, it comes at a price. There is a price tag, for luxury. But the price tag is more so with the element of exclusivity, Tim, and not with luxury per se. An experience can be curated in a luxury format at a lesser value if it is not exclusive.
So it is, okay, so it's experience first. It's whether it's what you want to do rather than how you do it and everything that surrounds it.
Right.
Okay, well, that's interesting. And that works on all levels.
Right.
However deep your pockets may or may not be.
Right.
Okay. One final question for you. And I'm digging again for, interesting ideas. Some of the, the stuff that we were talking about, Shibara, for example, or you talked about Oman. Salalah. What might be, do you think, a hotspot next year? Something that may come out of the blue that you find people traveling to? Is there anything bubbling now that you think is going to be a really attractive destination, particularly from people from this region, from expats, Emirati, doesn't matter? Where are people going to be heading to?
So I'll be very honest with you, and this is something that I have been thinking of and envisaging and introspecting for a long time now. I think China as a destination, the due importance and that it deserves.
Huge place to see. How much can you do in a week or two?
I think that China is really going to spring up next year.
Really?
Yeah. If you were to only give me one choice, that Abhishek, just name one destination, I would undoubtedly put my finger on China.
Really?
And because of the myriad mix of stuff that country has to offer, and I think it is still virgin in a lot many sense. And not just experiences that you would see or do, but all the way into gastronomy. And I think, you'll see that next year.
Okay. What makes you say China? I mean, the first thing as you said that, I thought, look, we're all very aware of the differences. If it's so huge. You could travel 100 kilometers. It's completely different dialect, completely different food, completely different atmosphere, cultural tradition, etc. So that's fascinating in and of itself. But what makes you say China? Because in my head, I immediately thought, so many Chinese cars on the roads these days, and everybody talks about China, and it's the cars that are making us want to go. But what is driving, that interest, do you think, particularly?
Yeah, and that's a great case in point that you are making, that when somebody talks about China, they're only talking about technology. I'm
oversimplifying
yes.
But you know where I'm going.
Yes, and that's a mindset with a lot of people, Tim. A lot of people, so they are not looking at the other side of China, which I feel is still version. So, if you were to not look at China as the tech leader in the world, or the leader in automobile, integration, or the advent of semiconductor technology, so on and so forth, or AI or ML, there is so much of cultural imperance that one can see, do, experience in China through, the local people. And I'm not just talking about the big metros of Shanghai and Beijing or Guangzhou. I'm talking about the deeply rooted interiors of China.
If there's one thing I've learned about you, Abhishek, in the last hour, is you are very much off the beaten track. Yeah, and I mean that again as a compliment.
Thank you.
For sure.
Appreciate it.
Do you know what? It's been fascinating talking to you. I'm really interested in, let's see, this time next year if China has become, that kind of attractive a destination. Abhishek Dadlani is the founder of Lushescapes. We're talking about the business of travel. Big winter holiday starting on, this weekend, really, but from Monday, December the 8th to January the 4th next year. All the schools are going to be off, so lots of winter travel is on the way. Great to talk to you, Abhishek.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Tim.
Good to have you
Absolute pleasure.
here.
Thanks a lot.
This is Mira Business FM.